Welcome back to my channel. My name is Imelda, aka MC. Let me show you how I made this fitted dress with butterfly sleeves and Chantilly lace design at the front. So first of all, I folded my fabric into four, just the way we fold while cutting bubble, and then I marked out my margin line. As you saw me do, I marked out about 0.75 for my margin line for me to start measuring. Okay, and as you can see, I placed my tape on that very margin line and I started measuring my vertical lines. I marked out my shoulder to bust point, shoulder to waist, shoulder to hip, shoulder to knee, and shoulder to length. Okay, and after I was done, I started marking my bust, round bust divided by 4. Okay, and round waist divided by 4 as well, round hip divided by 4, and whatever I marked on my hip was what I marked on my knee line and on the length. Okay, so I added about 2 inches allowance, sewing allowance, 1 inch for sewing and 1 inch for ease. Usually we add half inch for ease for fitted dresses, right? But this dress is not really that tight fitted, so I added 1 inch ease. Okay, so you can do 2 inch ease depending on how free you want the dress to be. So here I'm marking my shoulder measurement plus where I want the butterfly sleeve to stop. So for me, it stopped right on the elbow of my client. Okay, and then I connected it straight to my bust point, and then from that bust point to my hip I curved the butterfly shape. Okay, now this dress has a zip at the back, so I'm going to adjust the front forward to create a 1 inch zip allowance for the back. You can create this allowance from the beginning before you start marking your line. Next is my neckline measurement. So I used 4.5 inches for my neck width and 5 inches for my neck depth for the front, and for the back I just used 2 inches for my neck depth. For the design at the front, I marked out 2.5 inches. Remember, it's on fold, so by the time I spread it out, it's going to be 5 inches. So depending on the body size you're working, you can do more. So I cut out my shoulder, and remember to add your allowance. Okay, so I am making the side seam very visible for you so that you see where I am cutting out from. I'm cutting the front and the back together, but do not forget the zipper allowance. This style is not going to have a lining. Okay, so I cut out the front first and then I shifted it and cut out the back as well. So I am marking out the style I have at the front. I am defining the line there so I can mark it out, and that is what I am cutting out right now. And don't forget to add your half-inch allowance for joining back. So after cutting off what I had at the center front, I placed it on my fabric and then I added my allowance and I cut out a cane. And then this is the Chantilly lace I'm going to be using. Because my chalk is not going to be visible on the lace, I had to use the Ankara pieces to cut out the design that I want. Okay, it's not just a straight design, so I folded it into two and I marked out 3 inches and then I curved it out. Okay, so after curving it out, this is what I have for the design. I placed it on my lace and I cut out as much as I want, and it's okay, let's say as much as I needed. After cutting it out, I'm going to be needing a bias tape to tape the up and the down part of this design. Okay, the other sides do not need to be taped because it's still going to be fitted into the design. Okay, you're going to see what I mean at the end of the day. My cutout is about 3 inches in length and 2 inches on fold. Okay, by the time I spread it out, it will be 4 inches. So this is my bias. I'm going to tape the upper part like I told you, and I am going to tape the lower part as well. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, share and comment whatever confusion you have, and I am going to answer you immediately. Okay, I love you that much. So these are my designs, and I am going to start placing them on my fabric. You can use hemming gum to actually iron yours. So I didn't use hemming gum for mine. I just used pin to hold down my own designs. Okay, so for the work to be easier for you, just use your hemming gum and place it on the net, and then place your net on top of it and iron. Okay, and it's going to stay put to a place. You will not need pin anymore, and you don't need to top stitch as I did here. So after placing your designs, the next thing you're going to do is to replace it back to the center of your front by first of all matching your right side to right side, the right side of the cutout and the right side of your fabric. Okay, and then you place the other side of your front and sew it down as well. Remember to ask questions in the comment section or chat me up in case you have any confusion, and should you have a design you want me to teach. Okay, so I am done joining the center front. I am done joining the design, and you can see how perfect everything looks. So next I am going to cut out facing for my back and front necklines. Okay, remember that I cut out the facing after I joined back the fabric. This facing is just 2 inches for the length. For you to cut a facing, you have to fold a pieces into two and then place your fabric on it, and then trace out the neckline and then add the length, the 2 inches length you want to, just the way you see me do on your screen. Okay, so 2 inches on the shoulder and 2 inches right on the center front. I am not doing too much for this facing, okay, because I'm going to sew it like I mentioned before. All right, so I'm going to remove the fabric and then cut out the facing, and this is the facing for the front. I am equally going to place my back, cut out the facing as well, but remember that the back has zipper allowance. You're going to cut it with the zipper allowance. Okay, you're not going to remove anything. You're going to see how it's going to help us to sew the zipper neatly. Okay, and then remember that is the zipper part is cut open. Okay, so when you finish marking, so for this back neckline, back facing, I made the zipper area longer, but later on I had to cut it off and make everything 2 inches. You can make yours longer at that zipper part. Okay, for a neat finishing, I weaved my facing before attaching it to the fabric. I've ironed my stain and I went ahead to join it to my fabric. So this is my zipper. For the back, I first of all sew in my zipper, and then I join my facing as well. Okay, I join my back facing after joining my zipper, and then you're going to turn it before you turn it over, you're going to sew it down on that zipper part. Okay, just sew it closely to the zipper so that it will be neat. Then you can now turn it out. Remember to notch your necklines, okay, so that it doesn't look or appear bulky. All right, so I am done joining my facing, and I went ahead to join the shoulder. All right, so for this butterfly shape, the next thing I'm going to do is to close my remember the 1 inch we added for allowance for our side. From that hipper part, I am going to first of all close it by 1 inch, okay, from right side facing right side. Okay, so and after I'm done, for the butterfly from the bust point to the hip, I am going to mark out the shape of my side. Okay, that is on the bust point. Okay, so here I am making sure that the measurement is still intact and still okay. All right, so after marking everything, I am going to mark it on the right side, of the fabric, because I am just going to top stitch. Okay, so I also joined my butterfly shape with my bias. Like I turned it with bias, rather not joined. I turned it with bias, and I used the fabric as the bias. I marked the shape on the right side of my fabric and ran a stitch from the bust point right to my hip where the butterfly shape is. Okay, so and that is that for this tutorial. Do come back next time for more tutorials. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Bye bye.